What's going on, people, and welcome to the Blue Steel Podcast Show. I'm your host, LV Live, and my boy Jeff. What's going on, Jeff?
What's up, brother? Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa to everybody, whatever you participate in. Happy holidays.
Yes, happy holidays to you too, to you and yours. It's a great time. Come to the end of the year. What is it? Show number 10?
Yes, it is. Double digits.
Double digits, man. It feels
Wow.
good, man.
Yeah, we made it.
So yeah, people, thank you once again for all your support. Hope everyone's having a great holiday season. But please, once again, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, too, Blue Steel Podcast Show. Please, excuse me, Blue Steel Show. Am I correct, Jeff? Saying it right? Blue
Blue
Steel,
Steel Show.
Blue
Yep,
Steel
understood.
Show at gmail.com. Blue Steel Show at gmail.com. Please send your questions, likes, dislikes about the show. Please send it in. Something me and Jeff love for you guys to do. So yeah, so let's get straight to it. First and 10. LeBron and AD, Jeff. What's going
Yeah.
on in LA, buddy?
Well, LeBron James always makes calculated comments. Of course, he does nothing random. Um, and and just a quick shout out, if you have ESPN Plus, check out his More Than an Athlete. It's pretty good. It's about all his business partners and LeBron James, his friends now business partners and everything that they're doing. It's actually pretty dope, man. Definitely check that out.
Hey, Jeff, is
But
that when they're in the barbershop?
no, that's the shop. That's on HBO.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay.
This is a little different. I mean, it's all the same company, Spring Hill Entertainment, but it's actually really dope, man. It gives you an idea of kind of like goes through their beginnings and kind of like the different things they do, their roles and different things like that. It's pretty cool. Um, but as far as LeBron, making these comments about AD, was asked a question. I don't know if the question get planted, but he just happened to mention, it'd be nice, it'd be amazing is the word he used, play with Anthony Davis of the Pelicans. So, I got an uproar the last 3-4 days or so. Then, of course, they played the Pelicans, which is why the comments were made, of course. It's LeBron being LeBron, putting a little bug in people's ear, like we need to get AD, which we already commented on a few episodes ago that he's going to be in the Lakers uniform the next year or two. That'll happen. But LeBron likes to push the envelope. He likes to win now, so he's just putting that out there, for everybody to talk about, which is what everybody's doing now. So that's pretty much to make it as simple as possible. That's what LeBron did. So
Uh, Typical LeBron. This is what he
yep,
does.
yep.
He's flexing his muscle, sprinkling it out there. As I would like to say, Jeff, I think he's tampering.
Yeah. He can't tamper as a player, man.
Um, but this is what LeBron's doing. I mean, he's staking his claim of who he wants. Um, I think this is a strategy. It's very strategic of him to do this. Um,
Absolutely.
but I think Anthony Davis, he said he's not thinking about playing in LA, right? He said that.
Initially, yep. Initially.
Also, very strategic of him. This is all the game. This is all the game that they play, people. This is what the end game is. LeBron's going to set his crew up in LA, and Anthony Davis is going to be at the forefront. We mentioned this before, Jeffrey, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Absolutely.
And I think also, too, I remember Anthony Davis stating that it's not about money, it's about a legacy.
Absolutely. That's what he said.
So Jeff, he's letting him know right there that all he cares about is rings right now. He's got the money, he's got the big contract.
Yeah.
So now he's focusing on championships, and I think it's out of, I would say, the Lakers and maybe Golden State. I think all these guys are ring chasing. I don't see him going no other place besides that. I mean that's just my opinion.
Um, he said a legacy. So legacy to me means the Lakers. Golden State's legacy is Steph Curry, which is what 3 or 4 years ago. Um, but I mean, I guess if you went to Golden State, I mean, that's creating another legacy. Obviously, that's another few championships guaranteed.
See Jeff, see Jeff. No, Jeff. See, here you go with the Lakers stuff. See, why is it he says a legacy? He doesn't mean he only means the Lakers. See,
that's it. I mean, unless you go talk about Boston from the '60s.
People, if you don't know, Jeff bleeds purple and gold. So he thinks the Lakers are the end all, be all, and he's so happy. He's so happy right now. He can't even. This is the greatest Christmas gift he's gotten in years.
With LeBron and LA, of course, we've been horrible the last 5 years.
No, the conversations of AD going there, Jeff.
Oh yeah, we already talked about this. This gonna happen. Look. It's just like if you went back like a year or so and saw the path to LeBron going to LA, you could see the yellow brick road leading to LA already. This is the same. He's who's his agent now? AD.
Oh yeah, Clutch Sports.
Chris Paul, correct. So all this is you know the back channel type stuff, man. If he want to go to LA, he'll go to LA. Put it that way. Because stars run the NBA. They're like, I want to go to LA. I ain't going nowhere else. Get it done. Then we send Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Kuzma, whoever else they want. They just going to end up. But I'd rather keep Kuzma. But outside of that, all them dudes can go for AD. We'll get enough people to come want to play with AD and LeBron. But you do what you got to do. They obviously like to keep the younger players, but you know, if the thing is, you don't want them to go to Boston. So, who has a lot of picks?
Yeah, I doubt he goes to Boston. I don't see him going. I don't see him
trade him to Boston.
Yeah,
See,
yeah. But
he's not going to stay there.
Yeah, I mean, if they trade, the Sixers got the picks, man. They got all the picks.
Boston, you mean?
Oh, Boston's got the picks. I thought it was both them and Philly.
I think Boston could have. I think has 4 first-round picks this year. This draft coming up.
Oh, Philly traded theirs for.
Well, they got one of Philly's picks, so they can take your boy who can't even play. False.
Right. So, yeah.
That's just stupid. But anyway, we talked about that before. But long story short, this is what, like you said, this is what LeBron does. Flexing his muscle, as you said, putting it out there, and the path to get to LA has already been laid. It's just a matter of executing it properly. That's all. And that's what'll happen because the NBA needs stars being LA. So we need competition. We need another team for Golden State to play.
Sounds good. So now we can move on. People, 2nd and 5. 2nd and 5. And do I hear playoffs, Jeff? Do I hear playoffs? Is the playoffs here for the Shield, the NFL? Are the playoffs here, Jeff?
1 week away, man. And this is, just overall, this has been a great season for the NFL. Like a really, really, really good season.
Agreed.
You don't have like that one dot, like the Patriots on like 14-2, anything like that. They got chinks in the armor. Everybody got his flaws. It's exactly what the NFL is all about. It's literally parity. Any team that makes the playoffs can lose to any team that's the problem. They all got flaws. They all, nobody's steamrolling into the playoffs at maybe like Baltimore, but steamrolling. I don't think that gets it done with Jackson as your quarterback, but we'll talk about that in a moment. But it's been a great season for the NFL.
Yeah, it definitely has. Like we said before in other shows, it's all about the young guns. If you look around, look at the Kansas City Chiefs, #1 seed. Mahomes at the helm. Houston Texans, Deshaun Watson at the helm. The Baltimore Ravens, the #4 seed. Yeah. I'm going to say it again. The Baltimore Ravens. The AFC North maybe champs.
Drives me crazy. Yeah,
they are. They got Lamar Jackson at the helm.
Running back is the quarterback.
He's the future, man. That's the league is going to.
Actually, that's cool. He could be the future because he's not going to get it done. So I don't mind that.
Hey, look, he got it done this year.
To this point, yeah.
He got it done. Jeff, you hating on him, Jeff, because he's in the AFC North? Is that what I'm sensing right now?
I never really was a big. college I liked him, but I don't
Jeff,
think
he's a
he's
Heisman Trophy winner, Jeff.
he's yeah, he is. He had a great 2 years at Louisville. I just don't think in NFL that's gonna get it done long term.
Hey, Jeff,
So
he got it done this year, Jeff. And if
he's
he
doing
gets,
it.
and if,
They're one step away. They control their own destiny.
if
You know, I hate
with
Boston.
that defense looks like, believe it or not, it looks like an old type of Steelers defense.
Their defense is legit. It's been all year. They just, they had Joe Flacco, who's,
Oh, he's finished. He's done. He's done.
He's done. They're gonna cut him. You know who should get him? Jacksonville.
No, you know who should get him? The Steelers. That's who should get him.
Yeah, right.
Well, listen. You better not send him to the Giants because we're definitely trying to get rid of him.
Yeah, he'll go. Jacksonville should get him.
All right, before we even jump into the playoffs, real quick. I'm sorry, Jeff. I want to say I'm sorry. Okay, for your boy. All right, I'm just letting you know. I'm very sorry about the catastrophic loss that you had this weekend in New Orleans. Can you elaborate on that feeling that you're feeling right now, Jeff?
Oh man, I'm still sick about it. I think I'm gonna be sick about it forever. Man, I don't know. It's the same thing we've done all year, man. We shoot ourselves in the foot. Yeah, there was some bad calls, but truthfully, we had the ball and 1 minute 25 left to win the game. Literally, we had the ball. I forget where Juju fumbled the ball at, but like maybe on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it was about the 40.
Yeah, so we had the game. Like I was feeling good. I'm like, cool. We got that big fourth down play with AD. AB, excuse me. And man, we were the better team on the field. You can't have two big turnovers. That's what we've been doing all year, man. I don't know what our plus minus ratio, but it's definitely a minus this year. Defense played pretty good. Considering we was in New Orleans, man, just the turnovers, man. You can't turn the ball over in NFL. That's the one big differentiator in NFL, man. It's turnovers. If you can win the turnover battle, you win the overwhelming majority of games, man. And we just turn the ball over too much. Denver, we turned the ball over 4 times. Still lost at the end of the game. Had the ball like on a 1-yard line. So, and it ended with a turnover. So we just been shooting ourselves in the foot all season. And you put yourselves in the position where you got to depend on Cleveland to win the game.
What are you guys missing, Jeff? What are you guys missing? I mean, for me, on the outside looking in, the Steelers to me don't look like the Steelers. It's a high-powered offense, but the Steelers are the Steelers when that defense is legit. When you're playing a 3-4 and you got 4 linebackers that are about 6'4", 250, that run a 4.4 40, and they're just blitzing, sacking. They just give intimidation. Greg Lloyd types, Joey Porter types. You're missing a safety that's a stud back there. I mean, the Steelers just don't seem like the Steelers if that defense is not intimidating. And I think, to me, that's what's going on in Pittsburgh. I mean, do you agree or disagree?
Defense has improved, actually, throughout the year. We're missing a playmaker. I mean, all that stuff you said is true. We're missing a playmaker. Like, you had Troy Polamalu who would make a play. You know what I mean? He just makes something happen. You get a turnover, make a big stop. So we missed that. But
Whoa, Jeff. No, don't diss my boy like that. My boy Ike T, baby.
Oh, here we go.
Ike T. Ike Taylor all day, baby.
Swizzle. No, I mean we just missing a playmaker, man. We usually have multiple, like you said. Linebackers. TJ Watt has had a very good season. The defense has improved. I mean, we look like garbage when Mahomes is in there looking like it was Madden on the beginning of the season. So the defense has improved. We just don't have playmakers, like people to make. We're missing Shazier, who's a special player who makes special plays. That's what we don't have right now on defense. Offense, truthfully, man, we miss Le'Veon. Honestly.
Did I hear what I think you said?
Yeah, we miss Le'Veon.
No. You gotta say it louder. You said it too low.
Number 26, man. Le'Veon. You need him.
Number 26 is Saquon Barkley. He plays with the Giants.
I take him.
No. What 26? What 26 are you talking about? You gotta say that louder.
Le'Veon, man.
What's his last name?
Le'Veon, bad. You're missing him, man.
Oh wow! You know what, Jeff? So what he was begging for in the beginning of the year, was it worth it? Did he deserve that, Jeff?
We always said he deserved his money. Like I understood both sides, man. Like they don't want to pay 16, 17 million for
But
a
Jeff,
running
the
back.
Steelers have never wanted to pay, man. That's always been the biggest thing with them.
That's not as true lately, man. Like they, our lines well paid. They protect Ben, which was the franchise. I mean, before the Steelers were pretty cheap. I will definitely give you that. But they play players now. They don't. They're not going to overpay people. That's one thing they won't do. Like, and they don't go out and get big time free agents. So they they're better than they used to be. That's more of an old school narrative of like, oh, they don't want to pay. Like Ben's made a couple $100 million by the time he's done, and obviously he's a quarterback, so it's a little different. But AB makes very good money for a wide receiver. Our line is well paid. They paid Tuitt. They paid Hayward. So they got some guys making some good money. They don't overspend for people, and they're not going to overpay for people as well. So, is it? I don't know, man. I don't. It seems like we'll make the playoffs. It's like a thrown away season, man. Like all these games, like these, like Denver, like this time of year is when Le'Veon will take off. You know what I mean? Like this is the time of year when we give Le'Veon the ball 25, 30 times a game, and Ben don't got to throw the ball 50 times like he did yesterday. And he
Right.
actually had a great game.
Right.
Great. That's actually one of the best games Ben's had in a long time. He threw no picks.
So,
You know what I mean?
so Jeff, has his stock went up just now, Jeff?
Le'Veon,
Yeah.
the way the machine is operated, we'll see. Somebody's gonna pay. I think he's gonna go to the Jets. To be honest with you, they got a ton of money to spend. They got a nice young quarterback. I think the Jets will throw a ton of money at him.
Does he come back
Somebody's
home?
gonna do it.
Does he come back home to Pittsburgh, Jeff?
No, he's not coming back. He's not. I don't think though. If I was them, I would pay him. But I think it's just when you like it's like a relationship with a girl. After a certain amount of time, it's just too much has happened. You just gotta move on. You know
No,
what I mean?
I agree, but sometimes, Jeff, sometimes you give in to that girl, man, because you realize it's the best thing that ever happened to you.
Absolutely. If
And-
it was me, I'd be like, look, I need to pay him.
Right, I agree, but what I'm saying is that it's a possibility that the Steelers might do it because of what has happened.
This season?
Right.
Absolutely. I mean, truth be told, I'd much rather have him in Pittsburgh than anywhere else. So they just gonna have to come and cut the checks, And if he was smart, he'd come back. And I would go back if I was him, as long as they paid me the money that he wants. I would go back. Why would you go to the Jets?
I mean, hey, listen, I agree. I mean, I'm a Giant fan, so I totally agree. But a lot of these guys are paper chasing. You know that. So
Oh, he's definitely paper chasing. So he left $14.5 million on the table this year. So yeah, he won his money. Like he's banking on himself. Like I'm rested. We'll see, but
I mean, he sat out the whole year, Jeff. I mean, think about it.
whole year.
I mean,
Never seen this before.
never. Especially at his height. Like how most of the time guys either bend or the team usually bends, right?
Right.
But man, I think his stock has risen because now people haven't spoken about him. He's kind of a forgotten player, right? Because all these other backs are doing great, but you forget about him. He's been the best back in the league for the last couple of years.
Right.
So he's all healed up. He's not taking a beating.
Nope.
I will not be surprised if his agent and them get back in here and talk to the Steelers, and they pretty much come to a decision on the deal. I will be shocked if he's not back in that black and yellow. I would not be. Listen, I'll be shocked if he's not back in them colors next year, man.
I'd be quite happy if he is, but we'll see.
So back to the playoffs. So we got other teams. We got the Rams. I think the Rams are going to be legit, but in the NFC, Jeff, everything goes through New Orleans. I don't see anybody beating the Saints in that dome.
I don't either.
I just don't. Everything goes through New Orleans. I think I had the Rams earlier. I think the Rams could do it, but it's tough beating Breeze in that dome, man. I mean, he's unbeatable in that dome. And if I'm correct, isn't a Super Bowl in the dome this year?
It is in Atlanta.
Oh man,
Yep.
it's a perfect way to end off that season, right? This great season that he's had.
Yeah, maybe MVP as well.
mean, then you got the Bears, who are a big surprising story, Jeff. The Bears.
Absolutely.
Oh man, what are they, 11-4?
11-4.
Wow. Who saw this coming, Jeff?
I didn't. Nobody. I don't think anybody did.
But Jeff, once
That's the
again,
Mac factor.
they got a young quarterback at the helm, Mitch Trubisky. I know you hate him,
I don't hate him. I don't think he's the answer.
but he's at the helm, Jeff. And I mean, it's just crazy how they just jumped from I don't know what they were last year, but to being a legit but being a legit contender. And then you bring Mac over there on defense, and he just changed. I mean, galvanized. Have you ever seen one guy just be placed on a defense, and then the defense is just legit? I mean, just one guy.
Not in the NFL. I mean, there may be some examples, but man, like it's kind of like an NBA trade. You know, like when you get LeBron or something on your team, now you're in the playoffs. You know, like it's crazy. He's literally, like you said, transformed them into top five, whatever. I'm sure they're in the top five in defense. I haven't looked, but man, they're so legit on defense. So
Yeah, they're dangerous. But to me, you can chime in, please do. But to me, another dangerous team, Jeff, is Seattle, man.
oh yeah,
Seattle is.
Wilson.
Listen,
You know,
I'll put it to you like this.
I don't want to play them.
No, me neither. If New Orleans was to lose and they would lose to Seattle, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nope.
I wouldn't be surprised. You know why, Jeff? Because Seattle has been here before. Russell Wilson has been here before.
Couple times.
He's played in big games before. So Pete Carroll taking the Seahawks to Seattle to win is nothing. Those guys, what people have forgotten is that they have been the team in the NFC for the last 3 to 4 years, I would say. Mm-hmm. So you still have a lot of guys there on that coaching staff, a lot of players that are still lingering around who were there during those glory years when LOB was there, Legion of Boom, and all those guys. So that I think Bobby Wagner's still there, right?
Yeah, he is. He is.
So I'm just saying. So you still have remnants of that. So a lot of those guys, them going to New Orleans and playing, they're not shook by that, man. They're not at all. And I can see him going into New Orleans. I doubt if it happens because Breeze is just on a roll this year. But I would not be shocked if Seattle goes into New Orleans and pulls up an upset. Like the score might be something like 34-31. You know what I'm saying? I will not be surprised if Seattle goes in there and pulls off an upset in the playoffs.
Well, they could definitely do it, man. You don't. The two teams I would not want to play in the playoffs, if I'm like the number one seed, Seattle and even though I hate them, Baltimore, because of their defense, and they gonna go. Those two teams, they gonna go anywhere think they can win. Like ain't gonna be no doubt. They don't care where they at. They think they're the better team, and they gonna win.
Yeah, they're road warriors, man.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, think of like you mentioned the quarterbacks. You got Kansas City with Mahomes, number one seed. Well, at the moment, number one seed in AFC. Then you got Deshaun Watson, number 3 seed in the AFC. I mean, how old is Luck? Luck's still pretty. He's in his 20s, right?
He might be honestly, he might be early 30s.
He's not older than Russell Wilson, right? Russell Wilson's older than him, right? Russell Wilson's 30.
Okay, and Luck, because you know what it is too with Luck. Luck's been injured, man. He's been out of the league for like a year and a half, so you kind of have forgotten about him.
But I don't think he's 30. To look that up. But my whole point is he's 29, so he's a year young.
Yeah, see, so he's still fairly young.
Pretty young, yeah. And then you got in the NFC, you got Rams with Goff, with Trubisky. And then, I mean, Russell Wilson's 30. He ain't old, Then you got, whatchamacallit out of Dallas. You got some young quarterbacks. So my whole point of bringing this up is that they've never been in these pressure situations. So how is that going to impact, them in the playoffs? Because the playoffs is where, it's where you catch your teeth. That's where you become from, transcendent into like a great quarterback as opposed to just a good regular season quarterback.
The playoffs is where legends are born, Jeff.
Right, is in every sport. So we'll see how these, because you got some number 1 seed, number 2 seed, possibly AFC and then the NFC with the Chiefs and the Rams, who with really young quarterbacks. Same draft classes. as a matter of fact. Right, Mahomes and Goff came in the same. Oh no, Goff might be 1 year.
Right.
But
Jeff, who's also a dangerous team, is the Chargers, man.
so here's my thing with the
They're at
Chargers.
the they're the fifth seed.
Yeah, because they're in the same division with the Chiefs.
And what are they,
So
11-4?
yeah, that's because the top four seeds go to division.
And they beat Kansas City in Kansas City last week.
They got a better conference record though. So I think it goes the AFC, which your AFC record is.
No, Jeff,
Exactly.
I totally agree. I know that. Like, I totally agree. I'm just saying
They're good.
oh man, they're dangerous, man.
So here's the thing with the Chargers. So everybody loves the Chargers right now, and legit, they're good. Definitely, I'm not even debating that. What I'm saying is they've never had any success in the playoffs. Phillip Rivers has never done anything in the playoffs to make me be like, I think they're gonna win. And not that, because normally there's typically in it. I'm trying to think. Typically you go through stages in the playoffs. They've never went through any stages in the playoffs. I know they've had a little bit of success every once in a while, but I'm just not a big believer in the Rams for some reason because they never had no playoff success. I could put Phillip Rivers in the same category. He's an old school dude. He's been playing for a long time. He came with Eli and Ben, but do you really believe in Rivers in the playoffs?
No, I don't. I know
That's
Jeff.
what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Well, Jeff, Ben and Eli, they've done it. I mean, on the highest stage, they've done it twice. Ben has what, three or two?
2-1, the last one.
So I'm just saying, at the highest level, what you're judged on is those rings. I mean, that's just what it is.
Right.
And it's in those pressure moments in the playoffs when it all counts. Can you make those big throws? You know, Ben made the big throw to Santonio Holmes in the corner, right? Eli made the big throw to Mario Manningham right down the side. I mean, those pressure moments.
Iconic moments.
Yeah, iconic, man. Iconic. Ben and Eli have those. Rivers does not. And you can say what you want, but they have the team. But with this team right here, I'll put it like this. With this team right there and that line, if you put Ben on that team or Eli on that team, does this team possibly win a Super Bowl? I say yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You feel confident saying that. But you know, it's fun. I don't hear anybody national media saying that. Everybody likes the Rams, but I'm like, yo, what has Rivers done for y'all to be all this confident? Like, I ain't saying that he's not. He's a very good quarterback. Great. Might be considered a great quarterback. He's never won a ring. So, but it's that next level. It's the stage of the playoffs and getting it done and making yourself iconic, which he's never done. I don't know what their playoff record is, whatever, but they've never done anything in the playoffs. So, I don't even know if he's been in the championship game before.
Yeah, he has that one year. Remember he tore his ACL?
Okay.
They played at New England.
Yeah, so what is this? 15 years, that don't really give me too much confidence. So, like I said, they're very good. They beat us at home. Came back and beat us at home. So, I'm like, are we really confident? But playoffs should be great, man.
Yeah, too, but you made a great point earlier, man. I mean, this is really a lot of parity. This is very, very exciting. I mean, usually with playoffs, I don't really care about the games. I want to see all these games, Jeff.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to miss, even though the Giants aren't in it, and I'm a big Giant fan, as you people know. G-Men all day. Lawrence Hill, the greatest player ever. That's how I feel.
Ever. Yeah.
But with these I want to see every single game. There's not one game I want to miss because I just think it's just exciting about all these good young players. I want to see what Mahomes is going to do. I want to see what Khalil Mack's going to do. I want to see what Lamar Jackson's going to do. Like, I'm excited to see, and believe it or not, I want to see can Drew Brees end this year as a storybook ending. Like, can he have that? Can he have that? Like, I want to see that. Or is a team like Russell Wilson of Seattle going to go up there and destroy his dreams? Like, that's exciting to me.
Right. And then you still got New England.
Oh man!
Number 2 seed.
Listen, don't make me want to puke.
I know, for real. But like they right there. They number 2 seed right now.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Oh, I know we're kind of off topic. Hey man, that's crazy about Josh Gordon, right?
Oh yeah, man. Sad, man. It's really sad. Yeah, that's the best word I can think of, man. It's just sad,
Yeah.
you know.
Hey,
He's done in the league. I don't think he'll be back in the league.
yeah. Hey, people. If you don't know, Josh Gordon was people who don't know, he's a legit wide receiver. What is it about Joe? Jeff 6'4", 230 or something like that.
He somewhere around that, I think. Yeah, he's
Uh,
the truth.
yeah, he's
Kiddo
amazing.
Wise. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean he's had a problem with substance abuse. You know, his whole time in the league. Actually, it seems like his whole life, even in college
His whole life, yeah.
yeah, and
He's
now
talked
he's
about that. Yep.
yeah, now he's decided to walk away from football to deal with his mental illness. He was in a perfect situation in New England. He looked good out there, but he just I don't know, man. I mean, I don't even know really even where to begin with that. I just like you said, man. It's just really really sad.
Right, it is.
All right, people. So we kind of got a little long winded in there, but it's an exciting time for me and Jeff, man. We love the playoffs. We love football, and you know him being a Steelers fan and me being a Giants fan. As you see, that's why we call it Blue Steel. Uh, even though our teams aren't anywhere excited about the NFL, man, because we just love NFL. So we're gonna move on to 3rd and 1. Your boy Jeff Mark Cuban
Right.
made some really crazy statements
Yeah.
about I, if you want my opinion, I think he made him because he's just so in love with his new guy. Who's it? Luka Doncic? How you pronounce it? Luka?
Believe it is Doncic. Doncic. I think that's how you pronounce it correctly.
Okay. And what did he say exactly, Jeff? I'm trying to pull it up here. Do you have it?
So here goes what he said. He said, "We took our best kids in 7 years before they were McDonald's All Americans. We sent them over to Slovenia to get an education. The league would be 1,000 times better. In addition, he says, basically all American players know how to do is taunt and put mixtapes together."
Okay. Now,
So now let me say one more time.
I
So
see. I'm ready. I'm ready to put him in a sleeper
no,
hold.
no, but there was a he said he was misquoted that mixtapes.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Jeff.
That's what he said. So we'll give him benefit of the doubt. He said something. I forget the exact term he said he used, but allegedly that's what he said. It was misquoted with that. But you know,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
I mean, I
Go
mean,
for it, son.
I mean, Mark Cuban is he's a smart guy, man. Jeff, as you, I, I'm pretty sure he said that. He's gonna, he probably realized he's getting backlash from it, but he's a smart
Mm-hmm.
enough guy. I think he knows what he said, and probably in the heat of the moment, he probably said mixtapes, right? Because who decides to say mixtapes? Like who's gonna say that, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm
That's
saying.
a calculated word.
Exactly, my man. There you go. So let me tell you something, man. People, basketball started here. This is the blueprint. This country. Everybody is chasing us. We have the greatest player, second to me. Second, excuse me. Let me go back. Third to me on the list of all-time greatest players, because I have Kareem number one,
Mm-hmm.
is LeBron James. He is at the top of the food chain as far as the players go, hands down. So why would we send our best players, Zion Williamson? You got the one kid coming out of high school now, Cole Anthony. Why would we send them overseas for what? Why would we do that when everything that they need is right here? Right here. Why would we do that? Jeff, it's like what we talked about. I think he's feeling himself because he's got the new best thing. And then he had Dirk. So he feels like now, okay, I'm able to draft the best European players, so maybe they should go over there. A lot of those kids come over here and play ball, they wouldn't last. They will be on the bench. They will be on the bench with all the great players that they have over here. I'm speaking of not the best of the best kids over there. I'm speaking about the average ball players over there. And if I'm correct, Jeff, please jump in, Jeff, because you know a lot about this too. He also mentioned something about the AAU circuit and how it's being run, and right?
That was basically what it was more referencing, talking about the AAU circuit in general. Which again, you and I both comment on that. I don't like the way the AAU is ran for basketball. For volleyball, it's awesome. Basketball's terrible, but
Now, Jeff,
you
real
know,
quick. I'm sorry, Jeff. Just I want the people to know because I want them to know your knowledge on this, man. I'm kind of bigging you up because my boy Jeff, people, he be moving, man. He be moving things, traveling all over. He be jet setting. He be kind of low, low key in it. But I'm gonna big you up, Jeff. But listen, but with the AAU, Jeff, the games that you've done, because I know you said you've done AAU in Vegas sometimes, right?
I mean, I coached for a while,
Right now,
for
how
a
now
long time.
now based on that, right? Your experience, like how do you see it running, Jeff? From the years that you've done it, what's the problem that you see with the AAU? Like, what's the issues?
There's just to me AAU should be like the NBA of youth sports. So there shouldn't be 7,000 AAU teams, and I don't know if there's that many, but there's a lot. You and I could create an AAU team today if you wanted to, and just join these tournaments, pay the money, and get a bunch of kids together. And that's basically what it is. It's like glorified. Now you have that elite level, which is like those teams where they put teams all over the country and stuff like that. It's just too much of it. There's not enough emphasis on like developing skill sets of all the players. Because that's the one percenters. Of kids. Those elite like Zion Williams. That's the one percenters. Those guys are gonna go to NBA league. The other 99% of players need to develop the skill set. Playing 45 games in a weekend, every single weekend, traveling all over the country, is basically feeding off of parents' idea of, oh, my kid can do this or that. My kid will be the next this or that. When truth be told, like I said, 99% of these kids are not going to get to college and play basketball, much less high school and start. So it's just a lot of money being funneled in, not a lot of skill development. You got a lot of people doing the coaching that don't need to be coaching. It's just the game of basketball to me is just the greatest game in the world, and I don't think that the way it's currently ran right now, it does a lot of justice in developing what we got out of sports playing as kids. There's some great things about it. You get to play against kids in other parts of the country, see that and things like that. I just think there's some big components missing in terms of developing the kids and not necessarily having so many teams be playing in all these tournaments. But again, it's about money. Because I can run a tournament that's 4, 5, 10 tournaments, 4, 5, 6 tournaments a year, make $5,000 to $10,000 for a tournament. Why wouldn't I do it? And that's the way people think. So they're gonna make their money. And God bless you, it's America. We can do that. But as far as just what I do and like what I like to see kids get better and develop their skill level and develop their talent. So it's already going like a little rant, but the whole system is not great. So as far as Mark Cuban coming from that part, I don't disagree with him at all. But getting back to what he's talking about, the comments are just really disrespectful and insensitive, man. You know, it's ridiculous, like you pointed out. We got the best ball players in the world, hands down. You take the top 10 players from America, top 10 from anywhere else, our players will win. I feel as long as you got the right coaches in place. So, um, and just because you have one player every generation, which Dirk's the old school generation. So now you got Doncic, who again has played about 25 NBA games. So let's not act like this dude's been doing this for 5 years. Because you see people put up your boy Jeremy Lin. What's he doing now?
You talking about Linsanity?
Yeah, what is he doing now? He's playing for Brooklyn, right?
Listen. Don't be disrespectful. Linsanity is starting in Brooklyn.
That's what you know what I mean? Like we see guys get hot for a year.
Nah, you're right. You're absolutely right, Jeff.
After that year, even Donovan Mitchell's not having a good year. He might be averaging. I don't know what he's averaging, but his field goal percentage is horrible. He's a volume shooter. He had a really good rookie second half of the year, and in the playoffs, and he's struggling this year. You know what I mean? So let's not act like this cat is put up. He's played in Europe, great. This is the NBA though. So let's not act like this dude's been doing this for 8 years and 5-time All-Star and MVP candidate. So again, like you said, I think some of it has to do with that. And he has some. It's just really insensitive. It could be considered borderline racist. To be honest with you. You know what I mean? That comment with the mixtapes, we know what that's talking about.
Of course.
You know what I mean? So
that's why I said, Jeff, he knows what he said. Like he said that.
Exactly. He knows exactly what he's doing. Like you said, he's a smart guy. So, and I like Harrison Barnes' comments on it. He plays on his own team, and you can look that up and stuff like that. It's just just ridiculous, man. It's the comics send our best players to Slovenia. What are you talking about, dude? Like, come on, man. That don't even make any sense. So,
Listen,
anyway,
Jeff, I'm glad you went on a rant because you have a lot of knowledge with the stuff that you do, my man. That's why I said I got to big you up. You know, I mean,
appreciate it.
I know because I played AAU, I know that, but it's different when you're coming from an angle of being a coach, being a ref, being all those different type of things. You see it on a different level. You know what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right. I mean, look, I'll give you a perfect example. Look at LaMelo Ball. As good as a player as he is, he went over there, he came back home. You know why? Because this is the best place to be to get to that level. Now the boy's back in high school. He should have never left high school.
Yeah, never.
He should have never left high school. So that right there proves the point of Mark Cuban doesn't know what he's talking about. So the best players are here, man. If you really want to learn, listen, anybody who's watching this show, listen, our show is worldwide. If you're in Japan, if you're in Russia, if you're in England, if you're in Australia, get on YouTube and listen to this. If you want to be a ball player, come to the U.S., okay?
Exactly.
Come to the U.S. If you're in high school, get with one of these prep high schools, Oak Hill, Mount Verde Academy, New York City, Christ the King, out west, Chino Hills, Modern Day. Get with any of those high school teams, IMG, and then you can play some ball. And then you'll start to build up, and then you'll see if I'm nice enough.
Right.
Period. Period. I mean, all those guys, those guys are legit players like Ben Simmons and R.J. Barrett. All those guys came to America to play because they know this is where the ball players are at.
Right.
So why would they stay in Australia? Or, R.J. Barrett. Why would he stay in Canada? Why would he do that? So I mean, this is where it begins and ends. And to your point, Jeff, we put our 10 together, our best 10. We're blowing everybody out by 40 and 50. Easy. So, Mark Cuban, relax. All right, people. We're getting to the end of our show. Fourth and goal. And it's funny that we're talking about this Mark Cuban thing in his comments. But the king, LeBron James, made a lot of some big serious comments he made last week on his show, right? Not the show you watched, but the barbershop show. Am I correct?
It was the shop, yeah. I watched both of them.
And yeah, it was about the league that we love the most, and the owners. If I'm correct, I want to quote him correctly. I don't want to be wrong about this. LeBron James said the owners kind of have like a slave mentality when they're dealing with their players. Am I correct, Jeff?
He said in NFL they got a bunch of old white men owning teams, and they got that slave mentality. And it's like, this is my team. You do what the blank I tell y'all to do, or we get rid of y'all. That's quote unquote. That's exactly what he said.
Now, I just want to say this real quick, and then we can kind of elaborate on it. When he says slave mentality, I want people to understand. Don't turn this into a racist thing, because a slave can be black, white, Asian, anything. Like a slave can be anybody. It doesn't have to just be black slaves from back. It doesn't just have to be that. It doesn't have to be. Just any other type of slave that you. It's speaking of everybody because there's white players in the NFL too. So the owners do this to the white players also.
Yep.
So before we even, I just want people to understand who are listening to this. I don't think LeBron wasn't. It's not a black player thing. This is not you're trying to treat him like Kunta Kinte or black. This ain't that. I don't get that. I get that he's just saying how people treat people that are slaves. You treat them like you don't really care about them. Soon as they get hurt, you throw them to the side. You don't even think about paying them. And you just put somebody else in a slot as if you don't even care about them. I mean, people have made comments about how, when guys go to the combine, it seems like it's like a meat packing district. Like, you're just in there, you're testing their size, you're testing their muscle, you're taking their fat ratio, and you're kind of putting them out to sell them to see who wants to pick these guys. So it comes across as that. Um, to me, I think it's great. I think LeBron, what he's doing is he's using his platform to really bring awareness to a lot of certain things that people a lot are afraid to say, Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think people have to look at that. But in all honesty, Jeff, I think the owners are looking at it. Hence, these guys getting these big contracts this year. I think it's starting to really resonate, Jeff, with these guys getting the big contracts they're getting. I think that players and owners, they're starting to really look deeper because I don't think the owners want this type of label on them, on their league. Because as we've discussed, Jeff, the ratings for the league have been down. I think they've been up this year, but for the last couple of years, the ratings have been down. There's less and less kids playing football. So within the next 30 years, there's a potential that there might not be no more NFL. So the owners understand this, and they realize they got to change something, and they got to change it fast.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel? Do you agree with LeBron's comments, or do you?
You made a very great point as far as earlier about so they can be any type of nationality or color, whatever you want to call it. Um, there's whenever you bring up that, it's just going to create a lot of buzz and people are going to, put on their gloves as opposed to sitting down and opening their ears and talking. And he's not literally saying they're slaves. Obviously, they're earning income, substantial amount of money. They're billionaires. Players, some of the players are millionaires, most are thousandaires. They make more money than the average person, but let's just keep it relative to what it is. So you get a lot of people, go on these diatribes about, talking about slaves, but it was like, come on, man, like don't be so literal about everything. I'm a pretty literal person, and I can even take my mind around where he's coming from with it. He's just saying, like you said, it's do what I say attitude is what the NFL owners do, and that whole mentality of it is what he means by like a slave owner's mentality. Like do what I say, and I don't want to hear nothing else. Like kind of like, that's what basically what it comes down to. And that whole mentality of it. So I understand where he's coming from with. Of course I do. As a man of color, I understand that as well. So, of course, LeBron, is very articulate in terms of things and comments that he makes. He has a voice. He even, on the same episode of the shop, he continues to talk about like Adam Silver, how the NBA is different in terms of letting players speak out, letting them have a voice, letting them be an individual as opposed to the quote unquote shield like the NFL always likes to throw on everything. So, and that's why, like I made that prediction. I think I told you a year or two ago, NBA long term is going to be bigger than NFL. It's a more worldwide sport, and there's other factors, but also because they're not trying to suppress people.
Right.
NBA allows you to express yourself.
Right. Very true.
Be
Agreed.
an individual. You know, shoot, it's a big deal for the players that wear different cleats in the NFL. For my what is it? My cleats, my cost, which is really awesome. But I mean, it's 2018. They just doing this. NBA been wearing different sneaks for years. So they all are about whatever brand it is, whatever team. That's it. The logo, the shield, as opposed to letting people express themselves. Who are the people that put their lives on the line? Literally, NFL every single weekend. So that's just what he's talking about. Great statements by LeBron. Again, I'm a big LeBron fan of what he does, man. I love the fact that he's socially conscious. I love the fact he puts himself out there. He doesn't hide behind sneakers like Michael Jordan, put it out there like it really is. And I don't know what Jordan does behind the scenes, but I don't care. If it ain't public, nobody knows about it.
Right.
So ultimately, I love the fact LeBron does that. And it's still going to end up being the owner and everything else that, that Jordan has done, but in a way that at the end of the day, you can go and be like, man, I made a difference, or at least I attempted to, with society as a whole. So I appreciate that a lot. I like that. I love that about LeBron and his whole team. So
Yeah, of course you love that about the King. Of course you do.
I'd say that even if he was in Cleveland.
No, you wouldn't. Stop
Yeah,
that, Jeff.
I appreciate it. We're gonna do something a little different for end the show off. It's a little bit long, but Stick with us for a couple more minutes. Just one little thing. So 2019, we're gonna do a wish that we want in sports for 2019. Just one. What you want, Don? LV Live, what you want, brother?
I want a new quarterback. Okay.
For the Giants, new quarterback.
I want a new quarterback. I want it to be Will Greer out of West Virginia. Let him sit behind Eli, and let him learn from Eli, and let next year be Eli's last year. Ride off in the sunset, and let's start with a new era. That's what I want.
That's what you want. Me, I just want AD in LA, man. Like, I'll be a happy man. That's it. However, got to get done. Magic, Rob Pelinka, get it done.
Hey Jeff, you haven't had enough championships. I mean, come on. I mean, look,
ever enough championships? Come on. You know what I mean?
I mean, come on. You had the three-peat. You had Kobe letting Shaq go. Then you coming back, winning back-to-back without Shaq against the Celtics.
This is the new era. We ain't been in the playoffs in 5 years, man. So we
5 years, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's a lifetime.
I got my son, who's 7 years old, Trey, who is a Lakers fan, man. Like, he needs to see this too. Like, I've seen all this. I can just tell him the stories. He needs to see this. My youngest is Golden State fan. We'll get him converted over once Steph Curry retires something. But we need to start over. Never enough championships. We need number 17.
Man. Yeah, I mean, hey, look, man. I mean, Boston and LA are definitely the flagships, of the NBA. So you're absolutely right. As the Lakers go, the league goes. Boston goes, the league goes. Hopefully, Knicks can come around and do the same thing. But those are the two.
KD. You should have said you wanted KD. You don't want KD in the Knicks.
Is it okay? When I make a wish, right? I'm looking that I'm going to most likely get it. Okay.
Right.
I don't think KD's coming. I think that's all a bunch of, they're selling dreams, man. They're selling wolf tickets.
Kyrie. Y'all gonna get Kyrie.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see about that, man. But before we leave, I want to tell you one thing, Jeff. Who I think is coming. He's making a hard push, and people have forgotten about him. You see Kawhi out there in Toronto.
MVP.
Oh man, listen. People forgot. Remember, he was kind of like they had LeBron 1A and they had him like 1B, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Right behind LeBron.
Absolutely.
Hey man, look, hey, he's coming. He's coming. I mean, I hope people are watching out there. I mean, I know it's hard. People can't get up there and watch those games up there in the 6, as Drake likes to say.
Right.
But he's balling, man.
He is. He's right back up where he left off.
Yeah, and Toronto looks dangerous, Jeff.
Best team in the East.
Yeah.
They got better. They got a better player, so I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a top of the year, New Year, man. We got to start really cranking up this NBA, man, because it's coming.
All right, NBA playoffs. We're going to be doing some things in 2019, people. So stick around. We appreciate the support. We'll be more consistent, more, we got some things coming, getting everything together.
Definitely do. Listen, people, thank you so much for supporting me and Jeff doing this thing that we love to do, man, which is talk sports. Once again, please send us your emails, questions, comments, anything about our show to the Blue Steel Show at gmail.com, the Blue Steel Show at gmail.com. Hey, great show, man.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure.
I'll be praying for your Steelers.
Man, no, we need it.
Hopefully we can sneak in and you guys can sneak in.
Baker Mayfield, man, needs you to do what you do. Like Oklahoma.
All right, people, listen. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Blue Steel will be back at the top of the year with you guys. And, my brother, listen. Happy Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, all that good stuff, my man.
Same to you and the family, brother.
All right, bro.
All right.